If there's one thing that's consistent about the sales cycle, is that you'll always have to overcome objections. Objections are common, and part of your job is to overcome these every step of the sales process and cycle. These 4 steps will help you clearly overcome any objection, and depending on where you are in the sales cycle, it slightly differs. Step number 1, first you want to clarify. What do I mean by that? Well, every objection, it starts with understanding and clarifying what the actual objection is. Many times we jump in too fast and try to start to sell around a solution before we even understand what the actual objection is. Step number 2 is to acknowledge. It's simply a way of just letting the owner know you understand and acknowledge how they feel and why they feel that way. Step number 3, you need to isolate. Objections often come in pairs, if not triples. By isolating the objection, you ensure that before you start to address whatever it is they object to, you have now gotten any other things out of them that could still be problems. The goal being, when you begin to overcome the objection or start to address that objection, that there's not something else that sneaks up down the road that you then have to backtrack and readdress. Overcoming the objection is often the last and final step. However, sometimes, depending on where you are on the cycle, the 4th and final step is one of 2 things. One is you simply table that objection, meaning you defer it for a later date. And at that point, when you can no longer defer, you then have to overcome, which is the other 4th step of this framework. You overcome the objection only after you clarify in detail what that owner's true objection is, all the components of that objection, and how it might have implication to your relationship. After you acknowledge that that objection is valid, and you can understand how that owner feels that way. 3, you've isolated that objection to where when it's time to overcome, you're confident there's nothing else that will creep into that conversation and derail your close. And last but not least, number 4, you overcome by acknowledging and addressing that objection upfront, head on, and with fact and with deal stories that is compelling enough to overcome whatever that objection was to begin with.